Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today, let's see Chapter 13 of Canto 1 with the title Dhritarashtra Quits Home. Sutta Muni, he said that Vidura, who's the brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu, and he was also the Prime Minister of the Kuru kingdom, he had gone on a pilgrimage trip in order to avoid the Mahabharata war because he could not bear the loss of his loved ones, and he also felt miserable that he could not stop this war. So Vidura, he traveled to many places, and on the advice of Lord Krishna, he met sage Maitreya, and he learnt about the essence of the soul from sage Maitreya on the advice of Lord Krishna. After learning about the essence of the soul, he became more attached to Lord Krishna. He was happy, he was satisfied with what he had learned, and later he returned to meet his relatives in Hastinapura. So when he met his relatives like Yudhisthira, his brothers, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Sanjaya, Satyaki, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kripi, the wife of the Kauravas, and all of them present there, they were very excited to meet him. So they felt like they were experiencing happiness after a very long time when they met Vidura, because Vidura was a very soft-hearted, kind and loving person, and all those relatives had gone through so much. They had lost their loved ones in the Mahabharata war, so they felt extremely happy, and many of them even cried in happiness after seeing Vidura. So Yudhishthira, he came, he greeted his uncle, he was also extremely happy. So he made his uncle eat and rest well because he had been on a long pilgrimage trip. So after Vidura became relaxed, all of them gathered around him, and Yudhishthira, he asked Vidura, "Uncle, do you remember us? You saved me and my brothers, my mother, from the disasters and dangers we encountered in our childhood. Just like how a bird protects its young ones under the wings. So we are so grateful to you. So kindly brief us about the Tirtha Yatra." And also, Yudhishthira told that since Vidura carried Lord Krishna in his heart, the places he visited became holy, which is beautifully stated here. Bhavat Vitta Bhagavatas, when devotees like you, who are good people, Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho, these places become powerful because Tirtha Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gatabrita, because you carry Lord Krishna in your heart. So Gadabrita here refers to Lord Krishna. Swantastena, situated in the heart, you make these pilgrimage places holy. So here we can understand how much Yudhishthira valued and loved Krishna. We even saw in the last chapter that though Yudhishthira was the emperor and he had celebrated success, all he wanted to do was to do service to the feet of Lord Krishna, stated as Krishna Padanu Sevaya. Then Yudhishthira asked Vidura that, "Uncle, you visited Dwaraka. So how are the Yadavas, our relatives? Are they all happy?" So Vidura started to describe everything he had seen and experienced, except the Vidukula Nasham, the destruction of the Yadavas. Nasham meaning destruction, because Vidura loved the Pandavas so much that he couldn't bear to see them getting disappointed. So he did not tell them about the Yadukula Nasham, and he felt that let Yudhishthira come to know of it when the time comes. So Yudhishthira, he took care of his uncle with all the comforts, and Vidura also enjoyed all the comforts and all the love. But back of his mind, he wanted to rectify the path of Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra was so immersed in luxury, and Vidura wanted him to take the path of bhakti and reach the Supreme Lord. He wanted Dhritarashtra to attain moksha. Sutta Muni, he described Vidura's past life. So Vidura was actually Yama Dharma Raja in his past life, and because of the curse given by sage Mandavya, he was born on earth to Veda Vyasa and to a maid. So when Vidura was on earth, Aramya, another son of Surya Deva, took up the post of Yamadharmaraja to punish sinful people. Long ago, sage Mandavya Muni, he was doing intense tapas in front of his ashram, and he had made a promise to himself that he will not speak. So once some thieves, they had stolen the king's property and they ran inside Mandavya Muni's ashram and they hid the stolen property and themselves inside the ashram. So the king's men, when they came in search of them, they found these thieves and the stolen goods inside Mandavya Muni's ashram, and they questioned Mandavya Muni, to which he was silent because he had made a promise that he will not speak. He was doing intense tapas. So the king's men, they arrested the innocent Mandavya Muni and these thieves and handed them to the king. So the king punished all of them and he struck them to the end of a trident, like you call it Trishulam. So what happened? All the thieves, they perished because you're not eating or drinking anything, and they all perished. Only Mandavya Muni was alive. So then the king realized that he made a terrible mistake by punishing the innocent Mandavya Muni, and he said sorry to him. And when he tried to take the trident out, the tip of the trident, which is called as the ani, was stuck to his stomach, to Mandavya Muni's stomach. Hence, Mandavya Muni was addressed as Ani Mandavya. Then later, Ani Mandavya Muni, he met his death. And he met Yamadharmaraja. And he asked Yamadharmaraja, why did I have to undergo such a horrible punishment, though I was innocent? What mistake I did? To which Yamadharmaraja said that during your childhood, you had pierced, small insects with grass. So because of which you had to encounter this. So Mandavya Muni was so angry that he cursed Yamadharmaraja that you should be born on earth and understand the pains. So immediately Yamadharmaraja takes rebirth as Vidura. Vidura was born to sage Vedavyasa and a maid, and since he was not a Kshatriya, he could not rule the kingdom. So under Yudhishthira's rule, everybody was happy in Hastinapura. So one day, Vidura, he asked his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, "Oh dear brother, do you know that fear is awaiting you in the form of death? And we are all under the control of time. No matter how much we love our material assets, everything is going to perish. Even our body is going to perish. Why are you living in the house of your enemy?" Here he refers to Bhima, who has killed your sons. And why are you enjoying their luxury? Why can't you come onto the path of bhakti and reach the Supreme Lord and get moksha? So here Dhritarashtra is completely, later he's convinced about what Vidura tells him, and immediately he detaches himself from all the material liking and all the attachment, and he's completely now devoted on Lord Krishna. And he's agreed to what Vidura has said about the Atma Tattvam, the essence of the soul. So Vidura advised his brother to leave for the north towards the Himalayas in the morning silently without telling anyone in the palace, because they will not let him go. Right? So Dhritarashtra the next day silently detached, he's walking towards the Himalayas, followed by Gandhari. So Gandhari came to know of this. Since Dhritarashtra is blind from birth and Gandhari, for her husband's sake, she has blindfolded her eyes, they needed someone to guide them. So Vidura accompanied them to go towards the Himalayas. So Yudhishthira, he had a habit of taking blessings from the elders, before he started his official job. So the next day morning, when he came to take blessings from Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they were not there. So Yudhishthira was like panic stricken, and he was filled with guilt. He was searching everywhere. He inquired with the charioteer, but nobody saw them. So he was filled with anxiety, and wild thoughts ran in his mind, like, did they jump into the Ganges, or were they sad that their sons were dead? So Yudhishthira was filled with anxiety. That's when Narada Muni came to his help. So we saw earlier also that when Vedavyasa was confused Vedavyasa was guided by sage Narada Muni to compose the great Bhagavatam. Similarly, Narada Muni, the great Narada Muni, he came to the rescue of Yudhishthira and he told him, "Oh Yudhishthira, don't worry." So when the Pandava brothers also saw Narada, they praised him by saying that, "You are the captain of our ship. So please guide us, great sage Narada Muni." So Narada was very excited and he told Yudhishthira that Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, accompanied by Vidura, had gone to the Himalayas in order to get moksha or liberation. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari had gone to a place called as Saptastrotas. Here, the holy Ganges divides herself into 7 streams for the benefit of the Saptarishis. So they will meditate here. Since Dhritarashtra had learned the Ashtanga Yoga, a divine fire will emerge, which will consume him. Later, Gandhari will get into it and they will attain moksha and reach the higher loka. So Vidura will witness this. On one side, he will feel happy because Dhritarashtra has attained moksha. On another side, he will feel miserable because he cannot see his brother again, and he will continue his journey. Thus, by calming Yudhishthira, Narada Muni left. So let's just meditate on the forgiving nature of Lord Krishna, where even he gave a chance to Dhritarashtra to attain moksha, because he felt that Dhritarashtra had already received his punishment by the death of his sons, and he wanted to give him a chance to attain moksha. Such is the forgiving nature of Lord Krishna. So what can we learn from this chapter? Material wealth is not permanent because it is also under the control of time. Just like how Vidura advised Dhritarashtra to relinquish all the material luxury and to take the path of bhakti, then we need to surrender ourselves to the Lord. Like how Yudhishthira surrendered his mind to the Lord, how Dhritarashtra took the path of bhakti, we should completely surrender our mind to the Lord. Only when we know the essence of the soul, we experience true happiness, like how Vidura experienced true happiness after knowing about Atma Tattvam from sage Maitreya, and how Dhritarashtra attained true happiness after learning about Atma Tattvam from the great Vidura. So let's also be completely dedicated and devoted to Lord Krishna and take the path of